What a year 2021 was for us in the Xbox family, with the 20th anniversary celebration and some truly groundbreaking title launches, including some stellar exclusives straight onto Game Pass on day one. But what does 2022 hold for Xbox owners? Why, allow us to show you. Remember, if you like what you see and crave information on these upcoming games, drop Xbox on a subscribe and click the bell so you're the first to know. Let's go.
What better way to bring in a new year of gaming excellence than with a new addition from a prestigious, tactical, first-person shooter with a fresh, extraterrestrial twist? Well, luckily, from the 20th of January, Ubisoft offers us exactly that with Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction. As you may have guessed, these new alien visitors very much do not come in peace, and so as elite operatives from Rainbow Six, you must enter containment zones and fight for our lives. You don't have to do so alone though. Should you own the full game and two potential alien-busting pals are on the fence about defending humankind, the Buddy Pass allows them to play by your side for 2 whole weeks completely free of charge, so no excuses. The game hits stores from the 20th of January, so do us all a favour and save our species, won't you?
In February, two names associated with multiple fictional brutal deaths from Software and George R.R. Martin finally come together with the much anticipated Elden Ring. We had a chance earlier this year to explore the lands between, and we already know how much of a treat we are in for, especially with how beautiful the game looks on the Series X and S. You can check that video out here. Vicious dragons, sword-happy knights, and other Soulsborne favourites appear, as well as several new features like creatures you can summon and horseback combat. Can't wait to vanquish foes and die again and again and again as a Tarnished in a bitter battle to restore the Elden Ring from February 25th.
The marriage parfait of parkour and the undead is also out in the second month of 2022 in the form of Dying Light 2 Stay Human. Set in a European metropolis known only as The City, this open world map is 4 times as large as its predecessor, so you'll need some good gear to get around. Luckily, as well as a seemingly inhuman ability to free run, you'll be armed with a grappling hook and a paraglider, which frankly seems way more fun than the bus or the tube. However, you'll also have hordes of different classes of the undead to contend with, as well as several factions of undead human beings who, depending on your actions, can either really take a shine to you or want you killed. Add to that the star power of Rosario Dawson and 2 to 4 multiplayer co-op, and you've got yourself a dead good time when Dying Light 2 Stay Human is released for Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S on the 4th of February.
Speaking of February and zombies, you can play as possibly the greatest vanquisher of the undead known to humankind, Ash Williams, star of the Evil Dead franchise, in Evil Dead the game. As a team of 4 survivor characters from the Evil Dead universe, including Scotty and Lord Arthur, you'll forage around the map for items to help you rip and tear deadites in two, and to seal the breach between worlds, but that first one is more important. Should you choose, however, you could break bad and play as the Kandarian demon, trying to stop the survivors in their tracks. Whether playing alone or with online co-op, who could say no to another gore-filled adventure with Bruce Campbell and co? I sure can't. It's gonna be groovy.
By the time March comes along, a new adventure will arrive from the, let's say, gifted imagination of Borderlands' Tiny Tina in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. The 13-year-old Explosives Pro led her own fantasy-inspired chapter of DLC way back in 2013 for Borderlands 2, but now she has her own fantastical RPG for you to play within. Travel through dungeons armed to the nines with guns, spells, and swords to stop the Dragon Lord, either solo or with your pals online. There's even a character called the Fairy Punchfather, which surely on its own makes Tiny Tina's Wonderland worth picking up on the 25th of March on Xbox One, Series X and S.
Should you want to explore somewhere a bit more literally horrifying rather than morally, then Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl is the game for you, coming on April 28th. Not only is the murky first-person shooter an Xbox console exclusive, it'll also be available on Xbox Game Pass on day one. Stalker 2 boasts a huge open world shrouded in a thick fog of creepy atmosphere and an even creepier feeling of dread. Enhanced all the more by how the game handles lighting, or lack of it. The Stalker universe shows an alternate history in which the Chernobyl power plant exploded a second time in the year 2006, mutating all life nearby and causing near cataclysmic destruction. Be warned though, the remaining human beings are just as dangerous as the mutant beasts wandering around, and the choices you make while you play can have huge ramifications on the game world. Don your safest gas mask and scramble together all the ammo you can find, ready for Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl on April 28th.
Moving ahead to August 23rd and onto the new incarnation of one of gaming's most outrageous and anarchic franchises with Saints Row. Witness the birth of the Saints gang and build your new criminal empire in the city of Santo Ileso by whatever means necessary. And those means will likely involve guns, cars, and liberal use of a wingsuit. You are very much your own boss, in that you play as a character literally called The Boss, but also the fact that you have more customization options for your protagonist than ever before. You can even join your pals online as you make these streets your own with the signature wit and wackiness of the Saints Row franchise as it returns on August 23rd.
October will also see the release of the much anticipated horror title Scorn. Not much is known about this H.R. Geiger-inspired oddity, but what we do know is that it takes place in a nightmarish realm which pretty much defines the word ick. It's a first-person adventure too, so you'll be able to experience the horribly pulsating, seemingly vein-riddled hellscape as if you're actually there. Lovely. Prepare to solve puzzles, battle pretty awful looking creatures, and presumably get the hell out of there when Scorn comes to Game Pass on day 1, just like this next intergalactic title. Starfield probably has a higher ratio of how excited we are versus how much we actually know about it than any other game on the list. But the things we do know about it are pretty great. This Xbox exclusive is a brand new IP from Bethesda, which studio boss Todd Howard has described as Skyrim in space. While the specifics are still being kept tightly under wraps, we know it will involve traveling the stars on a quest to answer humanity's greatest mystery. And given Bethesda's past record with sprawling open worlds, epic stories, and intricate RPG mechanics, it's almost impossible not to be galactically psyched for this one. While the wait until November 11th currently feels crushingly unfair, Xbox Game Pass members can take solace in the fact that they'll have access to it the moment it launches as a day 1 title. And we're sure Bethesda will be a little more forthcoming with info sometime between now and then. So be sure to subscribe and ring the bell for the latest.
Starfield is far from the only title coming to Game Pass on day 1 of their release. Subscribers are in for an absolute smorgasbord of brand new adventures over 2022. For instance, there's the brutal tale of survival, A Plague Tale Requiem. This sequel follows 14th century siblings Amicia and Hugo as they traverse a world teeming with soldiers out to get them and disease-ridden rats whose mere bite could be fatal. The sequel to this nerve-shreddingly tense stealth adventure will be on Game Pass on its first day of release in 2022.
2022 also sees the release of sci-fi horror FPS Atomic Heart, which looks as bizarre as it does horrifying, frankly. Set in an alternate 1980s Soviet Union, you play as a KGB agent sent to investigate the recent silence from the ominously named Faculty Number 3826. Only to find the machines there seem to have gone rogue and bioengineered some haunting-looking beings who would seem to prefer it if you were dead. Accompanied by an adrenaline-pumped soundtrack from Doom Eternal maestro Mick Gordon, you can uncover this bizarre mystery on Game Pass on day 1 of its release in 2022.
Also coming to Game Pass on day 1 is frenzied and fuzzy multiplayer action in the form of party animals. You'll be in control of various cute creatures as they duke it out across a variety of maps using whatever comes to hand. Or paw, or trotter, or claw, whatever it is. Easy to pick up and play, but challenging to master. Party Animals has something for everyone when it launches onto Game Pass this year.
It's shaping up to be a pretty great 365 days for those of you who are into the cute and the vibrant as it happens, as there's another day 1 Game Pass title that fits the bill too, in the form of Slime Rancher 2. During your return to Rainbow Island, you'll collect the frankly adorable slimes who inhabit the island and house them in your very own conservatory, all the while trying to uncover the secrets and purpose of the bright enigma you find yourself on. Be sure to grab it on day one on Game Pass, that cute little ooze won't farm itself.
Game Pass subscribers will also be able to explore the twisting narrative of Somerville, a slick and stylish adventure set on an Earth ravaged by war from unfriendly extraterrestrial visitors. Its unique visual style is sharp but gorgeous all at once and is set to be an incredible adventure once it lands later in the year.
And finally, for our focus on Game Pass, summer 2022 sees the debut of Redfall, the story of a small Massachusetts town which has the misfortune of being attacked by a legion of blood-sucking vampires who has somehow managed to block out the sun. You can team up with a number of other survivors to try to fight back against the vampiric threat, whether they're AI or other co-op players. As a title from Arcane Studios, the creators of Dishonored and Prey, it's sure to be something special when it launches day one on Game Pass this summer.
But even if the stacks of games coming to Game Pass don't tickle your fancy, there's a huge number of titles with characters you know and love coming to Xbox. For instance, if you've ever fancied yourself a student of witchcraft and wizardry, there's Hogwarts Legacy, which allows you to dip your muggle toes into the Harry Potter universe like you never have before, in a brand new adventure RPG.
If you fancy something rather more superheroic or indeed anti-heroic, there's a couple of offerings coming from the world of DC Comics. First, there's Gotham Knights, which follows the Bat family following Batman's death in an open-world RPG in which you can play as either Batwoman, Nightwing, Robin, or Red Hood to bring down the shadowy Court of Owls.
The other 2022 DC-centric offering we have is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, a continuation of the Arkhamverse of games in which Batman is seemingly dead. Noticing a theme developing here? Anyway, we hungrily await more details on this game, but what we do know is that you play as the scoundrels Harley Quinn, Deadshot, King Shark, and Captain Boomerang in a third-person adventure to, well, take down what seems to be a corrupted Justice League. They're probably going to need all the help they can get.
Meanwhile, if you've ever wanted to see the likes of Harley Quinn fight, say, Bugs Bunny, as well as Superman and co., well, with MultiVersus you can do both. Featuring a bona fide bevy of IP from Warner Bros., this party brawler needs to be seen to be believed. It includes an ever-growing roster of characters like Game of Thrones' Arya Stark, all the way to Tom and Jerry. MultiVersus is crossplay and free-to-play too, and it's sure to be a wild ride and set a lot of who would beat who arguments when it hits Xbox consoles in 2022.
Finally, we have a pair of titles from the house of CD Projekt Red, with new versions of their games confirmed to be coming next year, specifically optimized for our new generation. First of all, there's Cyberpunk 2077, the neon-dripped shooter RPG which is taking a step closer to its futuristic setting with new adjustments to make your Night City adventures shine on the Xbox Series X and S. 2022 also marks a return to the continent in a new version with The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt also specifically optimized for this new generation, which is set to make this already stunning fantasy adventure all the more jaw-dropping. A huge improvement coming to what is considered one of the best games of all time? Absolutely essential.
So that's just a small hint at the adventures that await us Xbox gamers over the next 12 months. And I don't know about you, but we cannot wait. Which game are you looking forward to most? Why not let us know down in the comments and drop a subscribe so you can find out all about it approaching its release. Happy New Year from Xbox On. We can't wait to spend it playing with you. Bye!